And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Cesar Diaz, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Jaguar or All Might, Toshinori Yagi? This is a fun one because these guys, actually, this is nowhere near as one-sided as you might think, even if you're using the most powerful versions of these characters, like, say, Singular Point Jaguar. Just because of the scaling of their universes. We know All Might's story by heart at this point. He was Toshinori Yagi. He was a quirkless kid who wanted to be a hero. Ultimately was taken under the wing of, his sensei, whose name I'm blanking on right now, but the float quirk, was given One for All and ultimately defeated One for All, All for One that first time, which led to peace, injury, him meeting Izuku, all that. At his peak, All Might was the physically strongest hero in the world, bar none. No one could touch him at his peak. Oh, that's not true. That's not exactly. No one would be able to beat him at his peak. Not even All for One was able to beat him at his peak. In fact, frankly, even though he beat his ass pretty good, his entrails were hanging out, for God's sake. He still scared the hell out of All for One and put him into the dirt. He came back with a mutilated face and everything. The best scaling we have for what peak All Might probably was like is the statement he said about Nomu, where he said in his peak it would only take maybe 4 or 5 punches, 5 or 6 punches, something like that. But it took over 300 to bring Nomu down that day. And he was going all out against that guy. So we know that All Might is almost certainly between 50 to 60? Yeah, 50 to 60 times stronger at his peak than what he was in the start of the original series. So that means that feats like causing the weather to change from a punch, causing a tornado, almost like a bomb dropping in a city just from going all out with a punch. You got to magnify those by about 50 to 60 times. Not to mention, he's deceptively fast for his size. Capable of he's not a true speedster, but he is deceptively fast. He can also launch gusts of wind just by moving his arm. And even mock fly around from that. He's got decades of combat experience, so he does know about tactics. And he's durable enough to take pretty much anything you can throw at him within reason. Again, if we're looking at peak All Might, he doesn't have the weakness on his side where he got his injury. But someone strong enough, someone of comparable strength like a All for One is able to damage and hurt him. So now the question becomes, does Jaguar fall under that purview? Jaguar is how is he described? Because he's technically like a mech or robot. He's actually technically also like an AI. He's an advanced robot created by Japanese inventor Goro Ibuki. Jaguar was stolen by the Cetoplans and used to guide their guardian monster Megalon in the destruction of the surface world. Goro managed to sever the Cetoplans' control of the robot, only to discover that Jaguar had become self-aware and altered his own program. In essence, he is an AI robot that is, basically friends to humanity. He's kind of like the Gamera of robots, except Gamera is the friend of Earth and children. And Jaguar is actually the friend of humanity because he fights to protect and serve others. He acts very much like a superhero. When not fighting, he's shown very friendly and offers handshakes, even carrying children on his shoulders. Kind of like a good robot role model you want. But in terms of what he's capable of, he is capable of altering his size. Most of his main abilities are as such. Size alteration, where he's capable of altering his size to match essentially the kaiju of that era. In the Showa era, he could hit about 50 meters, which did put him around the same size as Godzilla. In Singular Point, he grew to up to 100 meters, which I think still made him smaller. Actually, knowing the parameters of that Godzilla, still made him smaller than that Godzilla. But still he was even bigger. In Godzilla Rulers of Earth, Jaguar uses size-changing ability to his advantage against Orga, flying down the monster's throat, while human size and then growing to a gigantic size to tear him apart from the inside. Which shows, which we'll get to, that Jaguar is also very intelligent. Jaguar can fly up to speeds of Mach 3.5. In singular point, he had jet propellers added on to aid him in his flight. So yeah, he found Mach 3.5, which I believe is 3.5 times faster than the speed of sound, which makes him extremely strong or extremely fast. Physical strength wise, he is a very skilled combatant, actually knowing many different martial arts as well. It's programmed into him, his martial arts skill. His strength is enough, though, that in Singular Point, which again, Singular Point is. I slept on Singular Point for a while. I actually should probably try watching that at some point because I heard it's pretty good. That Singular Point, though, I slept on a little bit, but apparently that Godzilla is nasty powerful, which is why if you're using a composite Godzilla, why I think, if I remember correctly, when I gave my Death Battle prediction, I might actually give him a slight edge over the Hulk, of all people. But just because if you're including Shin Godzilla, Godzilla -1 Godzilla, Singular Point Godzilla, Legendary Godzilla, Heisei, and then Comics Godzilla. If you're combining all those Godzillas together, Hulk is going to actually have a problem in that fight. Not saying Hulk won't win, but I'm just saying I might lean towards Godzilla, actually. But that's a different story entirely. But yes, speaking, what's your Death Battle prediction this Sunday? Prediction and reaction. Don't miss it. Godzilla Singular Point, where was I going? Oh yeah, he was able to decently hold off multiple Rodans, Anguruses, and Godzilla himself. Again, that is a huge kaiju. During a battle with a horde of Kumonga, Jet Jaguar threw one of the monsters with one arm after it pounced on him. And these are huge monsters. So he's got a supreme amount of strength to him. He's fast and agile despite his size. Agile enough to even avoid Godzilla's punches and atomic breath, and a Fest Godzilla 4, which I guess was a special they did, Operation Jaguar. You gotta always say it like Jaguar. Intelligence, he's got an AI controlling him, so he's very intelligent and strategic. Durability-wise, he can take a great deal of punishment, as he was able to keep going in Singular Point after having each of his dismantled body parts, such as his arms and head, taken off, and so he can keep going beyond that. It is kind of ridiculous how much damage he can take. He cannot, however, except in Godzilla Rulers of Earth, he shrugged off attacks such as a point-blank blast from Godzilla's atomic breath and holds off several Okay, now is that a game, or is that... Because if that's a game, you can't count a game. That's one thing you can't count if it's a game. Okay, no, this is a comic. Okay, I just want to be sure about that. Because if it's a game, they have to be able to take hits from the opponent, because that's how the game works. Like that's not, you can't use a game logic in a fight like that. Because there are other interpretations of him that can't take the atomic blast. But so what? But if we're going to say use composite Jet Jaguar, which I guess is fair. Because if we're say using just the Showa era Jet Jaguar, then the Jet Jaguar is going to get his ass kicked, because his All Might could easily defeat the Showa era monsters. But if we're combining and compositing characters together, that's I think the fair fight here. Then he's got spotlights in his eyes to blind his opponents. He's also got eye cameras to record things. Liquid nitrogen breath, courtesy of the Showa era, which All Might is not immune to liquid nitrogen, as durable as he is. Rhino Pound. In Godzilla Save the Earth, Jet Jaguar can Rhino Pound, where he punches the ground, triggering a tremor capable of catapult. Oh, one of these kinds of abilities. Okay. So in essence, the Rhino Pound is hit the ground so hard the shockwave launches a kaiju in the air. He's got a water hose equipped to him. Liquidized medicine breaths can spray medicines, including allergistic mist. I'm going to guess anesthetic too. Holograms. He can produce holograms from his eyes. Tornadoes. In Godzilla Saves Earth, Jet Jaguar's rage attack involves him spinning around until he forms a tornado, kind of like Wonder Woman, except doing the Flash. So that's kind of interesting. Hand clap. Basically, hands glow with green energy, claps, and firing off of purple and red energy. Why does green turn to purple and red? No idea. My puppy's snoring over here. She's so cute. So yeah, okay, he's got an energy, concussive energy attack. It's apparently it's the technique is a reference to Ultraman's Spectrum Ray, but it's classified as a concussive attack. He's got heat ray missiles. So he can utilize heat rays and missiles from his hands. Harpoon cannon, harpoon torpedo. Sorry, I just thought of Digimon there. Spear of Anguirus. In singular point, Jaguar wields a spear with a blade fashioned from one of Anguirus's horns. Okay, cool. Um, G-Claws. And Fest 5, All Monster Showdown, Jaguar received a pair of G-Claws, bladed weapons of Gigan's arm. So basically, he kind of went the Alien versus Predator route where he turned monster parts into weapons. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, now, all this being... Oh, he's got mouth projectile, being able to spit a projectile, whatever that... Oh, that's from a game, though. Okay, we're not talking about that. That's a Game Boy game. We're not going to look at that. So with all that being said, though, he does have weaknesses. While Jet Jaguar can hold his own against most opponents in a one-on-one fight, he is susceptible to being overwhelmed by multiple enemies. He's been overpowered and rendered helpless by Megalon Gigan before Godzilla comes to his aid. He's also overwhelmed by several tripods and Godzilla's ruler of Earth before Zilla finally rescued him. Zilla being an actual decent character instead of in the original movie. Zilla Jr., awesome. I loved Godzilla the anime. I own Godzilla the animated series. That's actually a good show. Jet Jaguar becomes incredibly slow once he grows to his maximum size. Changing size also requires a great deal of his energy, at least in the games. In singular point, Jet Jaguar begins the series as a piloted mech, resulting in the cockpit becoming an easy target for kaiju adversaries like Rodan and Anguirus. During his battle with Rodan, Jet Jaguar was incomplete, and his stubby legs made him clumsy and easily knock off balance. Well, that doesn't matter in this fight. He also has a limited battery span. He needs to recharge at times. This because of liability during his extended battles against hordes of Kumonga, Kamanga, Haniga, and Zabunga. Oh god, which he barely escapes before powering down. So essentially, he's got the RoboCop weakness. He cannot do long haul fights. His battery and energy would run down low. He's also much clumsier in his larger sizes. So that is a fair compensation to be said. Fair. So if All Might and Jet Jaguar, first off, realistically, I know there's going to be some asshole in the comments that says this. They would not fight. These guys would probably be best bros. Are you freaking kidding me? It's like, ha, Jet Jaguar, my good friend. He'd be an artificial hero, but he'd be like the perfect version. He'd be the reverse of a Nomu, basically. Because his abilities would all be kind of like based off of quirks. So he's kind of like he's a AI good version of a Nomu. Jet Jaguar, my good buddy. Oh, my friend. Like that's what it would really be. But let's assume that Jaguar has gone confused, sees All Might as an enemy, and All Might now is like, I have to stop him no matter what. Maybe Jaguar made him promise, if something should ever happen to me, All Might, if my AI should be corrupted, if I should turn against the people I have sworn to protect, do what needs to be done. You heroes don't take lives, my friend. Then you will not be breaking your oath, All Might, for I have never once drawn breath. And does it very well. And so the day came where Jet Jaguar and All Might had to fight. Jet Jaguar's kind of going crazy, and him and All Might initially clash in his normal form. And from a physicality standpoint, All Might has the clear edge, at least in terms of just raw strength. Yes, he can throw kaijus around, absolutely, but it's quite frankly, if we're looking at peak All Might, not enough. And I'll add on to the fact that I don't think he has that massive strength in his smaller form. He needs to grow. So he's immediately just boom, smashing him around. That being said, the durability should still be the same, where if we're compositing him, he can take a point-blank atomic breath from Godzilla. Oh yeah, he can take a shot from All Might, no doubt. He just doesn't match him in terms of strength in his smaller form. However, what he does actually match him in is combat experience, because being an AI means he has God knows amounts of martial arts ingrained to his DNA. So while All Might has the experience, skill-wise, it's Jet Jaguar. So they're actually kind of even. He's unleashing several different minor weapons. He grows a little bigger to kind of compensate for like his lack of strength. All Might, though, speed-wise, is able to just completely outmatch him, because he's going well beyond Mach speeds. Way beyond Mach speeds. So these guys, these two are kind of like duking it out for a little bit, almost like Dragon Ball Z style, until Jet Jaguar says, "Hey, goodbye, All Might," and just grows to his full size. Like, damn you! It's like fire starts firing off missiles, pew pew pew, lasers. All Might's throwing air gusts, boom, causing him to explode, only for Jaguar to come and grab him. Goodbye. And throws tries to hit him with a liquid nitrogen blast. All Might, here's the thing. All Might has no immunity to something like liquid nitrogen, to the best of our knowledge. Yeah, he can like run through flames, but like he could still get burned. He's not infallible in that sense. And liquid nitrogen, oh no, that's gonna hurt. Like if Nomu could get flash frozen by Shoto, who was just starting out, and Nomu had arguably the same amount of durability as All Might, thanks to that absorption quirk. Then yeah, All Might should also be susceptible to something similar to that. Now, granted, that does not mean he's going to kill All Might. All Might probably breaks out, but now like has half of his face, but just flash burned off, so he's like got muscle and tendons. So and just boom, throws a gust, boom, knocks him right off his back. All Might just comes in, starts laying into Jaguar as best he can, and really taking it to him. Like, he is not in a good way for Jaguar, because now that he's big, his speed is down. His durability can handle a lot, but only so much. So next time All Might comes in, he spins in tornado form, catches All Might off guard, releases whatever attacks he needs to release, fire, missiles, whatever, to hit All Might. All Might didn't, separate. All Might's All Might's hurt. Like, All Might's like his fleshy, maybe even some bone exposed. It's like, I'm sorry, friend. You asked me to do this, so I promised you. I will hold my promise. Detroit, smile! And just rushes in, just boom, right into the center, just blasts him apart, just tears him apart. Like, as much as he can take the atomic blast of Godzilla, that's an energy-based attack, not a full blunt force trauma attack. Also, even though All Might is smaller, he is faster than Jaguar at this point. And he's got more experience despite having more skill thanks to the AI in Jaguar, which means he's going to be able to just stay within blind spots. He's going to go boop, 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 boop. Just start hitting repeatedly in multiple points. At the end of the day, Jaguar, I think, is going to just be dismantled down to his base components. Maybe he blinds All Might again with the spotlights, and like blasts him with one more attack. All Might just like takes the head off and just boom. And finally, they're able to rewrite. Afterwards, they're able to rewrite him or course corrected. They're able to say Jaguar's like, forgive me, All Might. It was not your fault. The villain, insert name here, took control of you. That we've uploaded new safety protocols. This should not happen again, but it did happen, All Might, and forgive me for everything I did. It's already done. Your face, don't worry. Nothing that a recovery girl can't fix. So ultimately, I think All Might holds enough of the edges to get the majority of the wins. He's going to be faster, especially when Jaguar grows larger. He's got more tactics. He's been doing this longer than Jaguar ultimately had. Well, ever going by the overall experience of how long Godzilla's been around, Jaguar's been doing it longer. But if we're talking about just like each incarnation, even if we're compositing them, experience-wise, we can't really include that. So he's got probably better tactics overall. So he's got to know how to use his speed and smaller size against a larger opponent like that and avoid a lot of the damage. He's also got enough durability to take a lot of those hits. The liquid nitrogen one, that's going to be a big problem. The concussive clap won't really do much damage, but the liquid nitrogen definitely. The laser probably is going to hurt a bit. And he can still take strikes from Jaguar, but between speed, overall experience and skill, durability, and I think at least comparable strength when they're both at their peaks, I'd say All Might is probably going to take the win, but I would not argue someone thinking Jaguar takes it. This was an interesting match. I like this match. And again, let's be real, they wouldn't really fight. These guys would be best buddies. So ultimately, though, that's my thoughts. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.